let's talk coaching fronts. Why Frank Reich? How did he land in Carolina?
It's interesting, Rich, because when the Panthers set out on this, and you could see it just based on their interview slips, they clearly were focused on, can we get the next Sean McVay? Can we get the next Matt LaFleur, the next up-and-coming offensive coach, somebody who's really smart, fix the quarterback, fix the offense, and go from there? And certainly there was a high degree of interest in the Lions offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. Ben was supposed to be on a plane, I want to say it was last Thursday at 6 a.m., and he called David Tepper or Scott Fitter, one of those guys, at like 6 o'clock the night before, and called the other teams too, and just said, I'm not ready. I'm not going to be able to do it. I got to go back to Detroit. I want to be there. We're building something special. There were some family dynamics to that too. But really that was a pivot in the Panthers' plans. Then, they spent time trying to figure out exactly, what they were going to do from that point. They continued doing interviews. They eventually got Kellen Moore in for an interview. And that was the only thing really that, gave them pause at the last second. They really liked Frank Reich. They liked everything he brought to the table. He's based out there. He played quarterback there. He loves that franchise. And, it kind of was one of those situations where it was the right place at the right time for Frank Reich, who also had strong interest from the Cardinals. And even though Frank doesn't qualify in the young category at this point, he is pretty sharp with offense. He'll have a plan on that side of the ball, and that's something they've been wanting, is now they try to once and for all find that franchise quarterback.
What about the spot that he left or was told to leave? Is Jeff Saturday the front runner in Indianapolis? I've seen reports around. I don't know if any of them are from you, Tom, but what are you hearing about what's happening in Indianapolis there?
Jeff Saturday is a candidate, always has been a candidate for that job. Jim Irsay likes him a lot and wanted to see him get a fair shake through the interview process. I would say, Rich, I would be surprised if Jeff Saturday ends up being the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. They're bringing through some really good coaches this week. Ejiro Evero had an interview yesterday that went for something like 12 or 14 hours. The Broncos defensive coordinator, who's really impressed everybody, all these other teams that he's spoken with through the process. They got Raheem Morris there today. They got Wink Martindale tomorrow, who took the place of Dan Quinn in that slot. And they still might bring back some more candidates, guys like Eric Bieniemy, Brian Callahan, Shane Steichen, who are currently in the playoffs and can't have a second interview until next week. This could easily go into next week. It's the most thorough search being run by anyone. You never say never because, again, Jim Irsay just has a high degree of belief in what Jeff Saturday can be. But do I anticipate Jeff Saturday being the coach? Do I believe that he is the front runner? I would say not as of now.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.